Hi, I'm Samuel Pollen. I'm the author of a book called The Year I Didn't Eat. If you are watching a video of me for the first time, this is probably not the video to watch. I did a video for Untold Social Media, which is my UK publisher, and it also went out as part of the Bookbound Festival, which lots of authors are taking part in right now, where I read the first part of this book. I'm going to read the next bit now. So, very bad video to watch if you haven't watched that one. I recommend watching that one first. Great video to watch if you have watched that one, and thank you for coming back. So to recap very briefly, the book is about Max, who is a 14-year-old boy who has anorexia, and it's about him struggling through that, and also just about the kind of friendships and connections you have with other people around you and how they can affect your life in good ways and bad ways. The first section, which we read last time, was so the book starts just before Christmas, and it was Max was looking forward with a lot of anxiety. So not looking forward, not that at all. He was anxious about Christmas dinner, and he was anxious about Christmas generally. If you have an eating disorder, any kind of disruption to kind of normal daily routines can be really hard to deal with because you're suddenly in a lot of social situations that involve food, and that can be really tricky. Funnily enough, we are currently living through a very strange time where lots of people's food anxieties are kind of manifesting because they've suddenly had to change the way they live their lives, and they aren't going out and they can't get certain foods as easily. So this is hopefully an appropriate thing to be talking about now. I understand how hard that can be, having been through it myself, so I hope everyone is doing okay at the moment. So I'm going to read this, a little bit more of the book, just a few minutes to give you an idea. I'm not going to go too far, but this is starting a little way just near the start of chapter 2 for anyone who is like reading along or watches these videos and wants to pick up straight from where they are when they buy their copy. You can buy it with Untold in the UK and Yellow Jacket in the US. Buy it from Indie if you can, but it's available in all of the normal places. So I'm going to carry on. We finished with Like Christmas Dinner, for instance. So Max is just about to deal with Christmas dinner. Okay. I spot it immediately, the blue tub with a spoon in it. Suddenly I'm on a roller coaster, plummeting toward the ground. Mum, I mumble. Mum turns around, sees my face, connects the dots. It helps them crisp up, love, she says. I do it every year. This year isn't every year, I want to tell her. How can she not see that? You're not measuring, I say. It sounds really childish, petty. She's putting some lard on the potatoes and she's not measuring. So what? But that's the biggest thing about being the way I am. Other people don't get the rules. I've used less than 4 ounces, Mum says confidently, trying to avoid a scene. This is what we agreed. 4 ounces of fat for the potatoes, total. This is the number I based my whole plan for the day on. But she wasn't measuring. She can't know how much she used. And it looks like a lot. So I say the thing I don't want to say. The thing I know will upset her, because I can't not say it. I'll just have 2. Max, love, Mum says, massaging her temples. It's not a big deal, I say quickly. This is one of my mantras. It's not a big deal. I'm not sure who I'm trying to convince. Honestly, I'll just have 2. Mum sighs and goes back to tossing the potatoes in the pan. At 1 o'clock, Dad returns from fetching Gran, who promptly distributes her cheeses. Then Mum tells us to go and sit at the table because dinner's almost ready. The dining room looks great. Mum takes entertaining pretty seriously. I think it's a sibling rivalry thing. And it's clear the moment you look at the table. We've each got a Christmas cracker and a Holly Prince napkin folded into a bishop's hat. And of course, there's the centrepiece. It's a Howarth family classic. A papier-mâché sleigh, 2 feet long, pulled by a grand total of 13 reindeer. Everyone who has Christmas dinner with us has to make a reindeer. Mine, which I made when I was 5, is an empty toilet paper roll with pipe cleaner legs. I glanced across at Mum. She seemed really stressed out this morning. but now she's beaming. Mum's one of those people who seems to live entirely for her family. I don't mean she doesn't work. Mum's a lawyer, and she does longer hours than Dad, who works for the county council. I mean, socially, Mum doesn't do much other than hang out with us. She never goes to the pub with her friends like Dad does. She's not in any clubs or societies or anything, which means the way things are at home pretty much determine how happy she is. Lately, she hasn't been happy at all. We all tell her how great the table looks, then take our seats. I'm between Gran and Robin. I asked Mum not to put me next to Auntie Jess or my cousins because I was worried they'd quiz me on why I wasn't eating more. "Christmas crackers!" Louise squeaks. That wasn't really a squeak. I pull my cracker with Gran. I look at her wrist and can't decide whose is thinner, hers or mine. Gran lives on her own, and 90% of the time she eats these microwave meals she gets delivered. Nice ones, that come with little cards telling her about the farmers who grow the ingredients, or where they catch the fish, or whatever. Each card also has the number of calories in the dish printed on it. I think about this a lot. How much easier it would be if someone did all the counting for me, if I never had a choice. Mum and Robin start bringing out food. Soon the table is heaving with plates of stuffing, potatoes, carrots, parsnips, sprouts, gravy, bread sauce, cranberry sauce and a huge turkey. I feel sick just looking at it all. Mum's already made up a plate in the kitchen. She puts it down in front of me while everyone else is helping themselves. For one sweet moment, I think no one's noticed. But then Gran says, "Is that all you're having, Max?" Shit. I can feel my cheeks burning. I'm trying to avoid looking anyone in the eye, but it's kind of tricky when everyone around the table is looking at you. I stare at my reindeer. Robin tuts loudly. "No wonder the way you were going at those croissants this morning, Max." I look up at him. He winks. Sometimes my brother is the coolest person ever. "What a shame," Gran mutters. I'm pretty convinced she's about to start lecturing me about how your mum's gone to all of this effort, but she doesn't say anything else. Thank God. That's when I look down at my plate and realise Mum's given me 3 potatoes. My stomach lurches again, for the second time in 30 seconds. I've not even taken one bite, and Christmas dinner is already a disaster. I mentally recalibrate. Today's really important to Mum. I'll eat the potato and lop some calories off tea. No big deal. Uncle Rich is talking about his new car, a hybrid. This is the 3rd Christmas in a row he's talked about it. The year before last, he took us through what a good idea electric cars are in general. Last year, he had a short list and was seriously considering a purchase. Now we get the full review. Robin, who's about as interested in cars as I am in woodwork, pipes up. "You must need a really long extension cord." My uncle laughs in that way that also gets across how little he appreciates being interrupted. Like when a Bond villain laughs at one of Bond's jokes. "Hey Louise," says my dad, seizing the opportunity to change the topic. "Do you remember which reindeer is yours?" Louise nods, like this is the stupid question in the whole world, and points at the reindeer at the front of the pack, which is covered from snout to heel in pink glitter. "He's called Mr. Sparkles," she says, shaking her head as if she bitterly regrets the decision. "He's a pretty great reindeer," says Robin. "James, which is yours again?" James points to another reindeer, with sequins arranged all over it like scales. It's like a disco ball in reindeer form. This is actually James's 2nd reindeer. A couple of years ago, he decided his first one wasn't up to scratch. "What's he called?" asks Robin. "Eric," says James. Robin laughs. I guess Mr. Sparkles was taken. I can't eat it. I'm staring at the last potato on my plate, and I can't move, and I don't know what to do. If I leave it, I know someone will say something. Gran, probably, or Auntie Jess. I've got to eat it, but eating one stupid potato suddenly feels like the hardest thing in the world, like climbing K2 or running 100 miles in one go. Everyone's still talking. I don't think they've noticed anything's wrong, but inside my head there's just electricity. A screaming wall of static between my brain and the rest of the world. That's something a lot of people don't get. Anorexia hurts, only it's the kind of pain you can't really describe. Believe me, I've tried. It's like trying to explain a colour to someone who's never seen colour before. But it hurts. Right now it hurts so much I want to scream. I hear Louise saying something. It sounds far away. Is Max okay? I realise I have my head in my hands. I don't look up, but I can feel everyone looking at me. Max, Mum says. He's not finished his dinner, says Auntie Jess. Are you feeling all right, Max? He's only had a couple of potatoes, says Gran, amazed. He's probably saving room for dessert, Robin says. My brother sure loves Christmas pudding. I know he's trying to cover for me, again, but even the idea of this horrifies me, the idea of eating more. And now it feels like I don't have another option. I'll have to eat Christmas pudding, and I'll have to eat loads, a bumper portion. I looked at the packet again yesterday. Our Christmas pudding is £2 and it's supposed to feed 8. I can tell you how many calories are in each portion, how many grams of sugar and fat. I don't try to memorise these numbers, but they stick to my brain like gum to a pavement. It's an effort to look up at everyone. That's right, I say, with a weak smile. I don't know what else to say. There are 8 of us around the table. Mum hates Christmas pudding, so that's 7. And Gran eats like a bird, and Louise is only 7 years old, which means I'll get a 6th, maybe more. This meal will be the most calories I've eaten in one go in 2 months. You can't do it. No way. Don't be disgusting. We had a plan. I was going to say I didn't like Christmas pudding, and Mum was going to give me a meringue nest and 6 strawberries, but now the plan won't work. It's not just my head that hurts anymore. It's everything. My nerves are on fire. My limbs feel like custard. Mum and Robin are clearing away plates. Uncle Rich is talking about his car again, about how quiet the engine is. For once, I'm grateful. I want him to carry on talking about his dumb car forever. When Mum brings out the pudding, everyone coos. I look up. Blue and pink flames lick at the sides of the dish. Dad makes some lame joke about not wasting the alcohol. Mum glances at me when she starts serving. It's a look that says, please hold it together. She starts across the table with Louise. Ladies first, she says. Louise beams. How much do you want, love? Loads. Maybe it'll be okay if everyone has a big portion, but when I look at Louise's bowl, I see that Mum has given her barely anything. Mum works her way around the table. When she gets to me, she dishes out about the same amount as Louise had. I can do this, I tell myself. But then Uncle Rich says, come on, Rebecca, give him a proper portion. I'm fine, thanks, I say quickly. It's Christmas Day, says Auntie Jess. It's only one day. She winks at me. Mum gives me an apologetic look, then digs in again and adds a little more to my bowl. There you go, love, she says. It didn't seem like she added a lot, but somehow it grows in front of me. It's a mountain. It looks like at least half the pudding. In my head, I calculate exactly how many calories that would be. Look at it. God, it's disgusting. How can anyone eat that much food? I can't do it. I can't face it. I'm not strong enough. I'm sorry, Mum, I say, looking up at her for as long as I can bear. I can feel the tears coming, that rippling feeling behind my eyes. For what, love? Says Mum. For spoiling Christmas. For not giving you even one day of rest. For everything. I pull back my chair and run. I'm going to leave it there for that one. So just a reminder, the book is called The Year I Didn't Eat. It's published by Zuntold in the UK. You can get it from all of the places you can get books from. Get it from an indie if you can. It's a great thing to do. They need support now more than ever. It's also published by Yellow Jacket in North America if you're in the US or Canada. And you can find, if you look at samuelpollen.com, my website, you'll be able to find lots of places to buy it. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back soon.